Could the next Red Sox signing be a former fan favorite from the Bronx? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and right now, every Red Sox fan's eyes are on one singular player, at least on the free agent market, and that's Jordan Montgomery. Well, I guess some people have their eye on Blake Snell, but that feels a little bit more realistic. However, what if the next Red Sox major league signing isn't a pitcher at all? What if it's a guy like Gio Urshela? Recently, the Boston Red Sox have started to target Gio Urshela, so what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about the reports linking the Red Sox to Gio. We're going to talk about why the Red Sox may be interested in him, where he would fit in on this team, what his role could look like, and we're going to talk about what it would take to get him here to ultimately try and figure out if this is something we think the Red Sox should do. But before we get into that, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just really helps these videos out a ton and would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start by breaking down the actual report itself before we get into who Gio is and what his role could be. The news itself was actually broken by fellow baseball YouTuber iTalk Studios. That's always cool to see. It's always cool to see someone in the baseball YouTube realm be able to do something like this. It was then made a bit more official by Chris Cotillo of Mass Live when he reported that the Red Sox are among the teams who have shown interest in Gio Urshela. He also added in at the end there that they aren't aggressors yet, and that it's unclear that they will be. Now, this is kind of vague, to be honest with you, right? It's sort of like the Red Sox are testing the waters a little bit. They've got their toes in the pool that is the Gio Urshela market. They haven't jumped all the way in, so there is some trepidation when it comes to whether or not the Red Sox are actually going for Gio Urshela. However, this is a bit interesting to me, and the reason it's interesting is because for the most part this offseason, the Red Sox have been focused when it comes to right-handed additions to the team on outfielders with some power potential. Guys like Adam Duvall, Michael A. Taylor, Tommy Pham, Jorge Soler, and Teoscar Hernandez are names that have come up in the past. This is sort of a different route for them. Gio Urshela is an infield utility player who doesn't hit for a ton of power, which is sort of exactly the opposite of what we've been expecting the Red Sox to go after this entire offseason. And Gio himself is a really interesting case because last year he was productive and also not super productive at the exact same time. He had a really decent average of .299, but an on-base percentage of .329, meaning he wasn't taking a ton of walks last year, and he had a pretty low slug of .374, which led to just 2 home runs and 8 doubles over the span of 62 games. Obviously, not exactly a ton of production from the extra base hit department, but he did have 64 total hits in that time span, and that led to a 91 OPS plus. Right around league average production, right about 9% below league average production, not crazy below league average, but still below league average bat. However, career-wise, he's been a bit more productive. Gio has spent 8 seasons in Major League Baseball, and during that time, he's posted a career average which is lower than it was last year at .277 with a .322 on base percentage, but his slug jumps up to a .423, and his OPS plus jumps up to a .103, right around league average at about 3% above the average production. He has certainly never been a home run hitter, with his career high in 2019 coming in with 21 home runs, and he normally averages about 8 per season. The Red Sox are really missing right-handed power, so why would the Red Sox be interested in someone like Gio Urshela? Well, it could be for a couple of reasons. The first is that Gio defensively is actually pretty solid. He's been a really good defensive third baseman throughout his career so far, with 10 defensive runs saved total at the position. He was a fine first baseman in a smaller sample size, just under average with -1 defensive run saved, and he could play some shortstop from time to time as well as some second base. This would give the Red Sox some backup to their corner infield position with a player who has played it well in the past. Right now, that guy is Bobby Dahlbeck for the team, and Bobby definitely has that power potential, but Gio Urshela is a bit more consistent at the plate and on the field. Another reason why the Red Red Sox could be showing some interest in Gio is because of his ability to hit left-handed pitching. Over his career, he has a 290 average with a 328 on base percentage, but a 445 slug against left-handed pitchers. So right around what he was producing at last year, but with a little bit more power against lefties, and this led to a 107 OPS plus. Again, about 7% better than the average hitter in Major League Baseball. What this would allow the Red Sox to do is balance their lineup out a little bit. Obviously not every single day, but maybe if there's a tough lefty on the mound or something like that, you could squeeze him into this lineup and give you a bit more balance as well as production against left-handed pitchers. What Gio isn't exactly a needle-moving move, right? It's not something where you're going to sit here and the Red Sox sign Gio and there's going to be headlines everywhere and it's going to make you a definite playoff contender, and it's really not super exciting when you break down what he could bring to this team, but he could still be valuable because he does give you some depth in the corner infield positions as well as some of the middle infield positions, and he does have some experience in the outfield. He's a bit of a utility man, which would give you more depth within this roster, and it would allow you to bring in a guy who would give you some consistency from the right-hand side, at least proven consistency, which honestly right now when you look at who the Red Sox have from the right-hand side, they don't have a ton of that. They don't have a ton of proven consistency when it comes to right-handed hitters. So it kind of makes sense why the Red Sox would be looking at Gio Urshela. It sort of fits in with what the Red Sox need. However, the question is, what is it going to take to get him here? To be totally honest with you, it's probably not going to take a whole lot to get him into a Red Sox uniform if the Red Sox want to genuinely be aggressive. At the beginning of this offseason, MLB trade rumors predicted Gio Urshela would land a contract around 2 years, $10 million a year, or a total 2-year, $20 million contract. However, recently, a guy by the name of Amed Rosario just signed with the Tampa Bay Rays for $1.5 million with $500K in incentives that could push that up to a $2 million 1-year contract. Amed Rosario and Gio Urshela had a fairly similar profile last year. Amed had a bit more power, but overall their OPS pluses were in the same ballpark. 89 for Amed, 91 for Gio, which probably sets Gio's potential market at just over $2 million a year. Probably something like $3 or $4 million in total. Now, the big difference between these two is that it would probably take more than 1 year to get Gio onto a contract unless he's starting to get desperate and just wants to play with a team. My guess is it would probably take something like 2-year deal with maybe a team option for a third, or a 1-year deal with a mutual option or a team option or something for a second, right around that $2 to $4 million range, which, to be honest with you, isn't breaking the bank at all and sort of fits right in with the Red Sox philosophy this offseason, right? If we can get players that are inexpensive and maintain our imaginary budget that we set for ourselves that could also be productive, that's who we're going to get, and Gio Urshela falls right into that exact category. One thing that I want to point out about this interest that I think is super important to note is that what this indicates is not only that the Red Sox are still looking to add some right-handed depth to this lineup, but also that they're not super pumped about what position Bobby Dahlbeck could be in going into the 2024 season, right? Because this is technically exactly what Bobby Dahlbeck is projected to be for the 2024 Red Sox. There's a good chance right now that he makes the team out of camp and ends up in that I'm going to be a backup third baseman, first baseman, maybe even some outfield role. And if there is a tough lefty on the mound, well, I'm going to be in that lineup, maybe in the 6th or 7th inning, getting at bat once or twice a week and try and help this team win some ball games. To me, this makes sense a bit. Gio Urshela has proven that he can be a sort of utility backup type player in the past. Bobby Dahlbeck, while he does have some success in Major League Baseball, and he's a guy who I absolutely love to root for and would love to see succeed, is someone you can't really count on for consistency. He's been all over the place, all over his entire career. He really can't handle right-handed pitching, at least at the big league level. You do have that potential with the power that Gio Urshela doesn't have, but outside of that, he is a bit of a worse defender statistically than Gio his career so far, far, and he has been less consistent at the plate, at least average-wise and getting on base, than Gio has been in his entire career. So it is a slight upgrade for the Boston Red Sox if they were to bring Gio Urshela in. And I think overall, when you're looking at this, there are reasons why the Red Sox should be and would be interested in a guy like Gio Urshela. But again, it's not exactly a super exciting move. It's not something I'd be super pumped about. All this is doing is it's improving the bottom of your rotation. It's allowing you to make that 25th, 26th man spot on your roster at the big league level have a little bit of a higher floor than it did before, right? It's probably going to give you maybe one, maybe two more wins than you would expect during the regular season. Probably more like one more win than you'd expect during the regular season. And it's not going to be a high impact player. It's going to be a guy, like I just said, that's going to get one or two more at-bats a week than what he would do in the past. But there are benefits, right? You're going to be able to get Casas and Devers off their feet a little bit more, maybe be able to slide them into the DH position once in a while to get them rested and off their feet and hopefully prevent some injuries, which would absolutely tank this season. And you'd be getting a guy who would be able to hit lefties at an above average pace, which I think, again, is a slight upgrade for this team, but nothing super special. That's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this? What do you think of the Red Sox targeting a guy like Gio Urshela? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And what do you think this does to the 2024 team? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest Red Sox free agency news in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It really does help these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.